Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, I think we just wait for some more people to join. In a few minutes, we should start. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Namaste. Good evening. Yeah, we will start all these queries. I think let some more people join. I think we will. I will just give a brief on the markets and what I feel is the outlook going forward, and then we can of course take questions and discuss more markets, more details, more more stock specific queries. Good evening, Ankit. Good evening, Varun. Good evening, Snehlata. Thank you, PC Jain, sir. Same to you. Nice to see you. Yeah, Rupesh. Good evening. We will be discussing that. Thank you, Umang. Hello, everyone. Okay. While we wait for, I think some more people to join in. I think if there's anything specific you guys have, we can just discuss that before I start my, dialogue. Let's say my view on the markets in general. If there's any specific thing which you have, any specific query on the market before I start my, view on the market. Thanks, Jagat. Sangvi movers, I think, well, frankly, Umang, I think you have to play the infra thing. Infra can be played, I think, in much better way than Sangvi movers. Over the years, it has not really helped the investors, despite whatever potential we used to hear, and it has been around for many years. It has not done the best. So I would think that you can play the infrastructure theme maybe better in a company like Ace Construction, or you want to do something on the capital goods side, then maybe even a Power India would still be good despite the run up, or you could do Linde. A very nice this thing on the it's a leading gas player, so very nice play on the gas usage of gas going forward as the infra and the manufacturing sector pick up. CAMS, Mr. Jain, CAMS would be very nice. I think CAMS is a very good story going forward. It has in fact corrected a lot, and you're right, consolidating in a range for some time. But yes, the view is extremely positive, and yes, it should be bought at these levels. Steel sector should be positive. I think it has again been kind of range bound. Tata Steel, JSW Steel, both should be good candidates to buy. Ankit, I don't think you can generalize like that. I mean, markets can correct, of course, but markets have run up, but we are still not very expensive. We are not in a frothy stage. We are not in a stage where markets have run up a lot. No, nothing like that. So I think there is still a lot of scope to go more. Varun, IDFC Bank, still my number one pick for 5 years. Yes, beautiful idea. 5 years, I think it will, in my opinion, it should multiply from here. Despite the run up, it should still multiply from here. Asian Paints, home improvement, certainly a very good theme going forward. Ayush, so you can stay invested. Asian Paints, the thing to note is that the paint sector, after many years, is getting crowded. I mean, so far it was very simple for Asian Paints, clear leader, and Berger and Nerolac following the leader. And but now with Grasim set to enter, Indigo already there, JSW already there. Suddenly the paint industry is getting crowded. Major, problem will be with Berger, but even Asian could have some problems going ahead in terms of keeping its market share intact. So I would not. I would think Asian Paints good idea, but buy on declines. Try and average out on declines. It's still a very good story going ahead, and home improvement is very good. But the Asian Paints, I think, do buying in a slow way. Max Health still very good despite the run up. Healthcare very good. Max is doing very well. It is run up a lot. I think I would wait for use declines to buy. Alexander Kaplan point I haven't tracked lately, so I think avoid that. I will avoid commenting on that. Deepak Nitrate, yes, still a very good story. I think chemicals also has corrected recently. Deepak Nitrate could be a very good stock going ahead. SBI for monthly SIP, yes, but why do you want to do SBI? I think must monthly SIP do in something like an IDFC First Bank. You will make much more money in that. SBI has already moved a lot last few years. Yes, it's still good to go, but SIP would typically be a long-term, capital appreciation thing. So the IDFC Bank should be better. Varun, LIC done nothing for ever since it's listed. In fact, it has gone down. I'm still very hopeful. I think insurance sector has great scope going forward, and I think LIC from these levels is a no-brainer in terms of safety of capital. It might take time to come up, but I think it's a very safe level to enter. And if you have the holding, capacity, you will make money for sure. It's a very short idea, very low risk and very good potential on the upside, but it might take time for the potential to rise. Umang, I think no definite answer for that. What you have to do is you have to try and do a weightage of things which have moved up, things which haven't moved up, and try and also balance across the industry, and then come out with 12 or 13 or 15 stocks. No simple answer to that. I think you have to do your own view or maybe own exercise. But like I said, I think you have to try and balance it across different industries and different sectors. And again, it depends also on your view and on how much you want to take a risk. And I think Ankit, Zomato, I think for investors with a risk potential is still very good. Again, depends on what kind of investor you are. If you are a very conservative investor, Zomato has moved up and does not have the earnings support. It's not a conventionally a good buy. It is something which you are betting on India's future and India's aspiration levels. So for investors who have a very big portfolio, certainly, and then a small part can be put in Zomato. But for average investors, I think avoid Zomato. It is now, at least at this level, riskier investment than many others. Shakti Pump should be good, yes. Shakti Pump is a good idea going forward, yes. Vivek OFSS, a sleeping giant, is finally waking up. I think within the IT space, this is a very good value pick. It may not go up much, but it's a very good, it has good dividend yield also at the current price. So large cap MNC in IT sector having a good dividend yield, you can't go wrong. It will not be a super thing like Tata Elxsi or anything, but will definitely give you good returns and will be very safe and stable. Force Motors finally coming back in its own. Auto sector itself is doing well, so I think Force should be a good idea going forward. I think I would bet with it. I think you can add, you can definitely buy at this level. Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, very checkered history, but I think this time around, I think you can bet on it. Again, it will same like Zomato. It depends on what kind of investor you are. If you're a very conservative investor, stay away from Ujjivan. But if you are investor comfortable with risk, have been in the markets for some time and have a diversified big portfolio, then Ujjivan can be a small part of it. It's high risk, high return. Exide, I think very good for investors who have patience. I think they have done beautiful consolidation in the electric vehicle battery space and still not talked about stock. Exide is something which if you leave for 5-7 years could multiply from here. It's a very good idea. Alexander, yes, Gravitas India, I like it. I think it's a good stock to be in. IQ Lighting, Sony, I think it's moved up a lot. I think it's expensive. You wait. and also they are mostly doing very low end. I mean, even I, when the listing came, even I thought there could be the next Dixon, the way it was being projected. But frankly speaking, they are doing quite low margin work. Not, and unlike Dixon, they don't have too much of diversity in their product. So I would wait and watch, not at this level. No, no, don't buy at this level. Info Edge, again, I think there are better ideas. Again, I think if you're in the IT space only you want to do, then there are many better ideas. Tata Elxsi, Persistent Systems, Apple. There are many other players to do which are looking better than Info Edge. Wipro, yes, Wipro could be, Ayush, Wipro could be a very good stock if again patience is required. IT sector, as you know, has underperformed, but IT sector is definitely going to come back for sure. If you have patience and long-term investor you are, then Wipro could be very good. Wipro has underperformed the IT sector also. In terms of credibility, it is still very strong. Management has a very good track record of investor returns, and I think it's a matter of time. Also, the buyback is really helping. So, Wipro would be a good idea to buy. Moil, Rajesh, again, I haven't tracked it lately, but within that space, I think like I said, Tata Steel, JSW, you could even, within the non-ferrous space, look at Hindalco, look at these ideas, more time tested, better place to capitalize on the commodity run as and when it happens. For beginners, see, among beginners, I think best is you go through an advisor. You could even contact us, but you could also go through any of the advisors because for a beginner, I think it's very difficult to just say stocks like this on the thing. And then again, broadly speaking, you could start with the index itself. Index is a very good diversified portfolio itself. So just buy the index to begin with, until you start getting more used to of the markets and understanding it better. Index, basically Nifty or even the Sensex, they have your options. You have options through the ETF. You can just buy in one stock the top 30 or top 50 companies. So that's the best way for a beginner to start. Idea, I think best is use any upside to move out. I know a lot of pain. I mean, you are still Jamia Bajaj, you are still lucky you bought at 15. The people who have bought at 100, 150 also, best is to use any upsides to exit. IDFC, First Bank, now target 2027, it's too far, but like I said, it's a multi-bagger story. It might be 2027, 28, one can't say, but hold on for 5, 6, 7 years, it should definitely multiply from here. No, I don't have any long-term specific target in mind, but it is something which is transformational, so it's difficult to even give a target. Vishesh, like I said, Ujjivan, again, long-term, better idea in the same space, IDFC first, or even if you want to do, you want to do kind of an NBFC, you don't want to do Bajaj Finance, you can do Cholamandalam. You want to do a little higher risk, higher return, you can look at L&T Finance. It's breaking out after a long consolidation. It has definitely a better business model, more time tested than Ujjivan. So I would not. Ujjivan is something which I would say, it's still yet to prove. So it's something you can keep a little bit if you would like to have a high risk, high return kind of a thing in small part of your portfolio. But otherwise, I think there are many better ideas. HDFC AMC, high value, but will again remain. I think HDFC Group itself is going to come back. So HDFC AMC, though high value, will remain a stock. Again, you're not going to make too much money in it, but if you happy with a 10-12% steady return, then HDFC AMC is a good idea. Okay, Ishan, Gland Pharma is very good. Again, it's not the safest of pharma stocks, but if you are ready to take some chance and want to multiply your money, the risk reward is very favorable for Gland Pharma. I must say that after the fall, it looks very interesting. There is some risk, but if you're ready to take that risk, the upside is very good because it could multiply from here. It can probably double in 1 year if everything goes well. India Bulls housing avoid. I think better way of playing. Actually, the housing market is now to buy HDFC after the merger, which is about to happen now. I think there is no second opinion. HDFC will be a very clear leader, and after the bank also merged with it, it'll have a huge upside and also a huge advantage over any all of its competitors. RFC, I think avoid. It's done up a lot. Home First Finance, avoid. I don't think it's and then there are better ideas. HDFC Life, 10 years view, definitely good. I think it's coming back. It has done nothing after its listing, but it started coming back. HDFC, the parent company, has also increased the stake, as you know. For 10-year perspective, life insurance companies are very good, HDFC Life especially. And I think with a lot of people in this thing, I can just give you a small view of what I think about the market. I think markets are very well poised, according to me. I think a lot of queries come because markets are on an all-time high. So a lot of investors think that it could be a time to book profits. Let me tell you that, these are numbers. When you talk about, all-time high, it's basically just a number, because you have to look at how expensive the market is. Market is about 19 times forward earnings. Usually the peak of any bull market happens around 22, 23 times. Sometimes in a euphoria, it also goes to 25 times. Highest it has gone is even 30 plus times, but we're not looking at those exceptional circumstances. Even if you keep 20 to 23 times as the peak, we still have about 15% more upside before we really say that if the market is peaking or the market is looking very expensive. So market may have made a new high, but it is not expensive. It still has more scope to go. I'm not saying it'll go in a straight line. There will be jerks, there will be turbulence, but if you are an investor, stay put. Markets are still not expensive. Overall, there is more scope to go on the upside. And when I say 15% upside, that is assuming at the current EPS. Now, obviously, if you wait till there's a forward EPS. Now, the forward EPS will also go up. If you wait for a few quarters, the next 4-quarter EPS will also go up. So this number will again start, looking better. So 15 times is as per the current earning, next 4 quarters. But obviously, we are expecting the earnings also to pick up. So 15% is not where it will end. It will probably be much higher. So stay put. I think there is still a lot of scope on the upside. And what is more important is stock specific ideas. Use these upsides to get out of your mistakes, get out of things like idea somebody asked, things where nothing is happening for years. Use any upside to get out of those stocks and move into better quality stocks of companies where you are sure of the fundamentals, the management is good, it rewards shareholders, and those usual stock picking ideas. Use them. Use this time to clean your portfolio. Look for better ideas. Bajaj Consumer, I think definitely going to hold on. It will come back. It is a good company. Products are good. Has historically done well. I don't think 245 is unachievable. Stay invested. Pfizer is going to do very well, very out of the focus stock. So you will have to wait. It doesn't go up or down with the market, as you know, and very out of let's say out of the limelight. But if you are a passive investor, you could stay invested. SBI cards, yes, I think so far it hasn't done as good as what we had thought at the time of the IPO, but SBI I would still think is good for holding on. MTAR I haven't tracked. NTPC is better definitely than NHPC. NTPC is doing well. Power sector is itself coming back. I think NTPC and public sector space also is seeing a lot of interest. So NTPC should do well in the next few years. Good evening, Mandir. How are you? Varroc Engineering, I haven't tracked, Rajesh. I don't want to comment on it. HDFC Bank is a very good time to buy. In fact, the large cap, the best idea right now is HDFC Bank. Buy it as soon as possible, because I think the re-rating already started. It started moving up. Also, a lot of buying happening. I mean, yesterday itself, the very big block of institutional buying happening in HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank, buy as soon as possible. It's still looking very good, and it probably will do well in the near term also. Amara Raja Battery also is good along with Exide. Both are very good long-term bets. Borosil Renewables is a very good stock. Yes, there is competition from Chinese products, but the company has a very strong presence, as you know, as you probably know, is in the making the glass for the solar panels. Is a very clear leadership. I am quite like the stock. I think yes, competition will be there, but it has its own set of customers and has withstood competition for so long. So I am quite bullish on it. I think the industry is going to grow. It's a very good play on the renewable energy space. BHEL, Jagdish would again be again a very, see, generally speaking, public sector, has not been able to compete with the, private and the foreign players. The stock has moved up. There is a plenty of traction in this industry. If you are again, if it's a very small part of a large portfolio, you could take a chance because risk reward is favorable. But I would avoid it and then avoid buying at this level. If you bought at lower levels, you could hold on, but do not buy fresh at these levels. In power, you could look at something like an REC, it's still looking good. Even something like Tata Power is looking good for a long-term accumulation. SW Solar is looking again a very good play on the renewable energy space. And get your name, Bushit. Okay, Bushit, very good play on the alternate energy. IOC for immediate short term looking very good, Mr. MK. I think in the next 1 or 2 months, if you want to play some stock, IOC is a very good idea. I think dividend yield itself is going to be very good. Has very limited downside risk. Could be a very surprise winner. Could in fact, if you're looking for 3 to 4 months kind of a thing, could be the surprise winner in your portfolio. So buy IOC. Again, an PSU stock, but I think it's looking very good. EID Perry, again a good value pick. Sugar is doing well and going to do well. EID Perry along the sugar business along with his stake in Coromandel looking very good. As per recommendation, so you would have made money because it's gone much higher than my recommended price on my video. MS will sell to maintain. Mr. Jain, yes, there would be some selling, some buying in HDFC Bank. It doesn't change. I think the appetite for this kind of a bank will grow, and after the merger, we're looking at it. It's one of the largest banks worldwide, so it's going to be very, very good, compelling story going forward. EID Perry, I have answered. Aditya Birla Capital is coming on its own after a long period of time. In the short term, it's good. I think for a long period of time, Aditya Birla Pawan was a value pick. It was not moving. It started moving now. Good for at least some more time. Long run, no. Aditya Birla Capital, no. But short term, yes, because it's moving up. And I think along with the NBFC space, it will move up. Long term, you have to move into something which has a better credentials than like Bajaj Finance or Cholamandalam or one of the banks, one of the private sector banks. But good to move right now. Between Shubham, between Dr. Lal Path Labs and DVs, I would any day prefer DVs. I think DVs has already moved up about 25% from its recent lows. Still has a lot of scope to go because it's been a bad 2 years for DVs. But otherwise, a very well managed stock, time tested, and I think you can bet on DVs. The next 3 years it will again come back. So even from these levels, I think you should buy. Buy in a staggered way, try and average out better. But at the 3 year perspective, you should make good money in DVs. IGL hold. Gas consumption is going to go up. Safe story. Again, it's not a multi-bagger kind of thing, but if you're happy with a 12% kind of return, then it's very safe and a good stock to hold on to. Balaji Ameen's a good story. I haven't tracked it lately. I don't know what levels you are getting it now and what is the valuation. But otherwise, yes, Balaji Ameen, very good story and a stock which has performed and delivered its results. Affle, very good story, Mandal, still looking very good. City Union, just Johnson one is very good. Johnson Hitachi is very good. Your Lupin and Medical. Lupin, see Jayesh, I think if you're looking for value pick within the pharma space, Lupin somewhat has not been performing. So I would think that somebody asked me for DVs. DVs is a better idea. Otherwise, Cipla has moved a little bit, but Cipla, if you get it close to 950 or better, even 900, Cipla would be a much better idea, I think, than Lupin. Aurobindo Pharma, avoid, because there have been a lot of controversy lately. Avoid. Best three stocks for 10 years. Again, depends on your what kind of investor you are. If you are looking at multi-bagger kind of things, then three stocks, I would place a lot of bet on IDFC First Bank. I would place a lot of bets on Tata Consumer. I would place a lot of bets on things which are emerging in the consumption space, in the IT space. I would look at even the large cap IT stocks because they have underperformed the last 3 years. And you could also, Tata Consumer, like I said, IDFC First Bank. You can even, consider at some stage buying into, other consumption and, infrastructure stocks. You could look forward, could multiply from here. So yes, between Linde India, Tata Consumer, IDFC First Bank, and I think these three could be the stocks I can immediately think of the 10-year perspective, which are looking very safe and very short. How to start investing in futures? I mean, futures is meant for trading. That's a very wrong question. It's the futures are meant for trading. They're not meant for investing. Mandir, Tata Motors, not at this stage. I think it's moved up a lot. If you're looking at a short term, yes, auto is in focus. In next 6 months, Tata Motors very likely to go higher. But I would wait for a long term investor. I would wait for it to consolidate at some point or it to come down. Yeah, Smriti, I answered this. I think IDFC First Bank, even at this level, I mean, of course, it has gone up. You could try and average out. You could use declines. But it certainly means I just answered it. One of my best picks for 10 years. Himadri Specialty Chemicals should be good. Yes, should be good for long term. Bushit, between car trade and SH Kilker. Car trade, I don't think, but SH Kilker definitely is very good idea because the industry is in a downturn. It's good to buy the leader, and when the downturn is happening, SH Kilker, even with a 1 or 2 year perspective, should be very good. I think it's a good time to buy SH Kilker. Ishan Weber Global, I haven't tracked lately. I don't want to comment on it. SH Kilker, I have answered. Loris Labs, Gale. Gale is a good idea if you are a patient investor and again happy with the low risk, low return. Low return would still be 10-12% along with dividend plus appreciation. So a very safe stock, limited downside risk, upside not too much, but very good for a conservative investor. Loris Labs, I have a different view. I think you want to take a chance, then go with Gland Pharma, much better risk reward paradigm. And otherwise, like I said, DV's Lab, Cipla, both looking pretty good. Stake in, yeah, Mandir, I get that. Tata Tech stake it has. Yes, could be added on declines, but like I said, moved up a lot. Very volatile stock, and I wouldn't buy it at this juncture. I would wait for some declines or some consolidation, or maybe some more earnings visibility because the main business is turning, but still the earnings is yet to pick up and moved up a lot. So I'm kind of keeping a hold on it for the time being. Petronet LNG should be good. Again, company is doing very well, has very strong fundamentals. It's a slow mover. But again, you're happy with the relatively slow mover stock, but very safe, then Petronet LNG is a good idea. Lupin. If you bought already, Jayesh, then you can hold on to Lupin. I'm not necessarily saying it's bad. I just said that there are better ideas, I think. But if you bought already, Lupin again has been going through a rough phase for the last few years. The younger generation has taken over, so one can hope. I think if you bought it, so hold on and hope for the best. I don't think it's going to be a bad investment. I think you will make a return on it, but maybe not as good as some other pharma ideas, but definitely you bought and hold on to it, nothing wrong with it. Medicamin at 787, I think you should be using upsides to slowly pare down the exposure now, Jayesh. Vector Food, okay, wow. Smriti, you've done very well, and I think Yes, I did recommend it. I think hold on to it. I think you've done very well. Don't buy more now, but you bought at a very good price, 385. So company has done very good as expected, has turned around very well. So you have a winner with you. Stay invested. Godrej Agro Bhushit, again, a long, very long, it has been a potential stock. It hasn't done well. But if you're a patient investor, I do see a lot of scope in the business. So at some stage, it will start doing well. If you are a patient long-term investor, I don't see any reason for you to exit. I think stay invested. No, I don't track any of these. Praj Industries is very good. 10 years also, I would like to bet on it because ethanol is a very good story going forward, and it's still yet to market is still yet to re-rate ethanol fully, in my opinion. I think ethanol is going to be a very good idea going forward, and nothing better than Praj to buy and sit on it. It's a Vishesh, it's a very good idea. Please buy Praj with a 10-year perspective. Hopefully, you should make a lot of money. Ishan, I on hospital stocks, I did mention about Max Healthcare. I think it's my pick in the space. Hospitals have a lot of scope, and now with the private sector really getting its act together, and there's huge scope. Even today, I think the number of hospitals in India are quite less. So, and with Max very well established, I think it's going to do very well. Thank you, Mandir. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate. Godrej Agro, I have already answered. Equitas, I would think yes, you could. Again, better picks in this space, but Equitas also is not bad. You could go. Tata Power, 5 year. 5 year, why would you like to buy a power stock, Santanu? I think power doesn't really, is very cyclical, doesn't really add on. But if you have to buy within the power space, then Tata Power is definitely better than many others. Granules, Sunibal Granules is doing very well. The stock also has done very well lately. I think continue holding on to it. It should do well. Good time to, if you, again, Mr. Jain, it depends on what kind of situation you are in. If you have money which is available, you have to buy. I mean, you have to. Why would you like to do it in staggered way? I think staggered way is only for your renewals which you invest. But if you have a lump sum, like I said, there are many ideas in the market. Despite its run up, it's maybe looking optically very high. It doesn't mean it's very expensive. I mean, for example, you could lump sum you want to buy Frontline IT. I think Frontline IT is still very good despite the market being where it is. It hasn't done well for last few years, but it's looking very good. IEX may not be multi-bagger now, Sundaran, because as you know, with the latest regulation, its hold as a near monopoly play on the market has gone. Its market has changed. So yes, but after the correction, it's a good stock to buy. But I would not think it's a multi-bagger. It's a good stock now because it's corrected a lot and has factored in the change in the regulation, but not a multi-bagger going to me. Air conditioning is a very good long-term story. It depends. It's a play on aspiration levels. So anything in India which is aspirational, be it air conditioning, be it home improvement, be it traveling, be it entertainment, all these things are going to do very well. So you have to buy the leaders in them. In air conditioning, I think you could just go with Voltas and stay invested for a number of years. You should make money. CAMS, stay invested, Kamal. CAMS is a very good story on financial inclusion. The valuation could be a matter of debate, but if you can sit on it for a few years, you will make good money. Vedanta is good according to me, despite all the negative news it gets. But again, long term, why would you like to do on a commodity stock? I think there are many better ideas. I think do it on one of the consumer stocks, do it on Tata Consumer, or do it on even ITC. Despite its run up, it'll do better in long term, even from these levels. CDSL, we're talking about long term. CDSL could be a very good long term pick. I think again it's proper. Along with CAM, CDSL is also a very good play on the long term financial inclusion. Coromandel should be okay, I guess. Again, fertilizer, all these things are very cyclical. Again, depends on your view. I mean, if you're looking at maybe next 6 months, yes, good idea. Good idea, but not a long-term multi-bagger or long-term great story from here. It could, yes, for the time being, looks okay. AI, I don't think there's any particular stock in the Indian market, or not that I can think of. Yeah. Bhushit, if you've got BSE, stay invested. Again, it's a very good. It's still not as expensive as NSE is quoting in the grey market, and I think BSE may not be as big in terms of NSE in terms of the, but it's again a very secular, good growth story going ahead. Yes, Mandir, you could max despite the run up. You could use downsides to accumulate. Shubham, Asian Paints, I answered earlier. It cannot, I don't think it will be a 20% compounder from here. Difficult because paint industry has got crowded. It's really changed over the last few years, especially with Grasim entering. It could still be a good stock. I don't think 20% is a realistic thing. I think something close to 12 to 15% could still do. It's still very well managed, big leader in its this thing. But because of the so much competition coming in, I would be a little wary whether it can actually do 20% from here still. DCB Bank could do a better, if you don't want to do IDFC Bank, Vishesh, then instead of DCB, do RBL Bank. I think that's a much better, much clearer story going forward. Favorable stocks for every month SIP. Sundaram, you could start with HDFC Bank and Reliance in the large cap if you want to do. You want to do a little more, long term and you can, tolerate volatility. You could look at Tata Consumer. You could look at something like Linde India. You could look at, you could even, we did mention about SH Kelkar. You could look at that. You could look at many of these things. But large cap, I think the three stocks should be Infosys, HDFC Bank, and Reliance. And if you're looking at a mid cap kind of a thing for accumulation, then it could be Tata Consumer, IDFC First Bank, and Linde India. Mandir, Prince Pipes should also be okay. I think Estel Pipes, slightly better management, better, more visibility, but even Prince should be okay. Pipes, like along with it comes in the home improvement thing. It should be doing very well going forward. Pawan, Pidilite is not a no-brainer. Pidilite is always good. It's one of the stocks where still the outlook is very good. And unlike Asian Paints, Pidilite still doesn't have too much of competition coming in, so it still looks quite good. L&T Finance, Chandramohan, I am ready to bet on it. I think a long time it has not done well. I think finally it's coming on its own. Technically also it's taken out. It's taken a long time. It's cleaned its business model, and L&T has a very strong parentage with it, and L&T Finance should be a good bet. I think I can bet it from here. At least for the short run, it looks very good, and then one can keep looking at tracking the numbers. If they improve, that could be a good idea from here, but at least for the short term, it's looking quite good. Kalpatru Power, again, I don't like power stocks personally for long term. I don't think they really, do very well. Kalpatru, one of the better ideas. Yes, if you have to do, like I said, Tata Power could be one. Kalpatru could be another one for long term if you are looking at power and you're bullish on power as a sector. Jubilant Ingrevia, I don't want to comment right now. I haven't really tracked it. REITs, a good idea, yes. REITs, there is this Nexus, Select Nexus, which has just got listed. Again, it's not, you're not looking at a multi-bagger kind of a story from here, but it's a very good dividend and dividend yield from here. If I remember correctly, it's more than 8% you will get from here, and it will be more tax efficient than the normal dividend you get from shares. And you will also get some appreciation with it. So it's 8% plus, and with tax benefits thrown in. So Nexus Select. It's Select Nexus or Nexus Select. This I don't know the order in which it comes, the name, but it's Select Nexus, I think, and just got listed. It got listed about a month back. That's a good idea if you're looking at REITs. Growth portfolio, you can play any Kotak Bank investment. Yeah, I think I would actually think, yes, HDFC plus Kotak, and instead of Kotak, you could do IDFC First Bank. Good idea. Kotak has one big event happening, that is Mr. Uday Kotak has to step down at some stage, not too much distant in the future. So it's still a gray area who will be the successor and how good he will be. So right now Kotak has reached a kind of a stage where the valuation is very high and there are question marks on the future. So we could do better with IDFC First Bank, yes. Tana Solutions, good story. IT again is a space which is going through, but Tana you only buy if you have a very good long-term view. Tata Communications always nice, it's still looking good. Electra Green Tech, again, along with JBM Auto, the both are very good on the electric bus story, electric vehicle story. I think the none up a lot, but yes, still looking good. I think if you have a long-term perspective, you could stay invested. HCL Technology, like I said, I think long-term IT, no-brainer. I think if you can buy frontline IT stocks, they are no-brainer for the long run. I think you will do very well. There is no chance. I mean, today, if you asking me, I think you between frontline IT, HDFC Bank, Reliance, you could just make a large cap portfolio, and you could even add ITC to it. All large cap stocks. Very little surprise you will have, and you will make money in the long run, despite the market being where it is. Suzlon, okay. Abuzar, a very interesting question. See, Suzlon lately has turned around. Numbers are looking good. They have written off a lot of debt. They have managed to restructure their company. The track record is very, very poor. They have disappointed investors for a long period, more than 10 years. More than 10 years of disappointment to investors. So I would take it with a pinch of salt. Like I said, when I was answering some other questions also, if you are an investor who has been in the market for long, understands risk, then a small part of your portfolio you put in Suzlon. Again, with the understanding that this is high risk, high return. At best, you put a stop loss at about 11 rupees. So you lose about 4 rupees. I think if it again goes less than 11, then the story is not happening. Lose about 4 or 5 rupees, and upside, if it does turn around, it could even double, triple in the next few years. It could even go even higher. So the risk reward is favorable, but only for investors, not for conservative investors, only for investors who are comfortable with risk. Oh, you bought LIC at 850, you will have to hold on, push it. It's again, the good news is it's not a sunk money. It's not something which is running away. It's not a company which is a complete, you will just have to stay invested, and long term you will get your money back. Shweta, Soba, yes, real estate is coming back. Soba is a good idea. Real estate stocks are going to do very well. Bank of Baroda, see, generally, yes, in the very short term, PSU banks should do well because they have cleaned their balance sheet. The credit growth is happening. They have a lot of lending power now. And so in the next 1 year, so Bank of Baroda looks a very good idea. But do remember to book profits when you get them, because these are not the stories for long term. These are not it's not going to keep multiplying for sure. So yes, one good this thing for now, but on the way up, remember to book profits. Federal Bank Pawan is a good idea. Yes, you can buy. That's one of the other banks, smaller banks, which is going to do well. Shubham, Fine Organics. No, I don't know. I haven't tracked it so well that I can confidently say it for 10 years. I haven't tracked it so well, frankly. I don't understand that business so well. So I don't know about the 10 years. Yes, otherwise, right now chemicals are doing well and this is a good company. But 10 years, I don't want to bet on it. Estel, yeah, Vivek, yes, Estel is a very good story. Definitely go ahead and buy it. It's a very good story going forward. Again, the whole home improvement thing is very good. You should make money in that. Happiest Mind, Smriti, yes, again, the IT space, Happiest Mind included, good space, good time to look at stocks. Again, nothing going to happen immediately. IT is going through a rough patch. But yes, if you have time available, you could go ahead and buy. Anil, best chemical stock to invest. Best chemical, I would still think, see, chemical, again, you have to really track it very well because there are different parts of every chemical company and the chemical prices keep changing. But if you ask me, within chemical, the best stock I could say that you could do a mixture of Chambal fertilizer. It hasn't done well at all, I mean, lately, but it has scope. And then GNFC. You could make a mix of these two. Galaxy Surfactant, yes, good story. Fundamentally looks very, I agree with you. I agree with you, Pankaj. Looks very good. It supplies to all these MNCs and no brainer with the number of new houses being built, number of new middle class additions, usage of detergents, usage of all these soaps will go up and Galaxy should do well. Shubham, I don't know. I don't think it will be accessible after this. It's not getting recorded. Venky's, yes, Venky's again a good story, consumption story. I haven't tracked the price lately. I don't know whether it's a good price to enter, but otherwise, if you have bought into Venky's, you certainly can stay invested. Kapil, Balkrishnan is a very good idea, very good story. Balkrishnan Industries is very nice. It's a very different kind of company. If you know about it, it's not the normal tires. It is the tires used in construction and other road building equipment. Company is doing very well, has very strong fundamentals. In fact, last 1 year it hasn't done much. It's a very good idea to buy into Balkrishnan now for long-term appreciation. Are the carbon company or the private tightly valued which are replacing them? No, generally speaking, public sector companies are undervalued because for whatever they have very good management in place, but obviously government being the owner, the main focus is not on investor wealth creation. The main focus is on social objectives. So therefore, for investors, they're not very good long-term ideas. They are good when right now, like I mentioned about public sector banks, they're right now very good because most of them have been very undervalued and suppressed, and some of them have very good dividend yields. But they are not stocks in which you make great capital appreciation because the focus has always been on social improvement, not on investor, relations. Vanjinathan Kumar, I did answer on Suzlon a few minutes back. SBI cards, Bandit, I also have answered, but SBI card, like I said, is a very good story. You have to bet on cards business in India. That is where the aspirations will go. And this is the only card company listed in India and will always be the only card company because after that, RBI has stopped giving permission to standalone card companies. They're all parts of some bank. So if you want to take an exposure on the credit card business, then you have to go to SBI card. So that unique thing will somewhere play out and it will do well. It's been a kind of patient thing, but if you have patience, you will make money in that. Nestle compounds such a high, very small. Why does Nestle command such a high valuation? Nestle commands because their products are very unique. I mean, they are again, one is of course well managed. They are very investor friendly. They give good payouts. They give good. They have a history of giving good rewards to shareholders. The profits have gone up. Their products are very unique. They may be a small portfolio. You see the product, this thing, Maggie, immediate recognition. You see Milkmaid, you see the Nescafe, you see whichever product they are in, they are very clear in their strategy, very well. The product stands out in a way. Competition is way behind in most of their brands. You look at noodles, you look at chocolates, you look at tomato ketchup, you look at coffee. The coffee is the one which they are in, not the traditional coffee, but the coffee powder which they sell. Milkmaid, again, the competition is far way behind. So they stand out not because of us. Despite a small portfolio, each product is very good, very well marketed, and very well positioned in the market. Mandar, again, I would stick my neck out and say that three stocks which I again mentioned. Okay, smaller cap you're looking at, then look at IDFC First Bank, look at Linde India, looking very good despite the run up. Shweta, I mentioned about IOC some time back. IOC is very good idea for the next 3 to 6 months. I think it could, I mentioned earlier also, it could be the surprise thing in the market. It could really go up and make a lot of money in the very near term. Public sector bank, not good for long term, but for short term, IOC looks very good. I think it's going to make a bumper profit in because of the way that this thing is. So until from here, I would say till very close to the elections, it could do very well. RCF is good. Yes, Abdul Khan, RCF also is very good. Again, only drawback is public sector. Again, they have a lot of land bank. They have a lot of good things, but public sector, they don't somehow realize the valuation. But it's very safe. It has a good dividend yield. Everything is nice about it. Sugar stocks, EID Perry, very good value pick. I agree. Praj Industries, other one, or if you want to do on ethanol. And of course, the leader, Balrampur. And then there's also Awadh Sugar, which is very good. Dhampur also is nice. That is Kapil. I don't know. I don't have an immediate answer who will be the best in this. Hindustan Foods I haven't tried. Pawan, Axis Bank again. Axis Bank is a very good idea. Axis Bank done a lot of consolidation. Bank fundamentals are really improving, and I think it's still very cheap. I think Axis Bank will do very well. Much better than looking at any public sector bank right now would be Axis Bank. It will do well in short term, also do well in long term also. HDFC Bank, I can stick my neck out and say yes, 20% compounding can happen because it hasn't done very well in the last 2-3 years, and with the home finance business coming in, it can do well. View on IEX. IEX, my view is that it has corrected perhaps a little more than what it deserved. The regulation has definitely changed. That little bit of some correction and some re-rating it was due, especially after regulation changed. Earlier, it had a very clear market leader and with the earlier regulation, it could stay at a commanding market share for a long period of time. With the new regulation, it will have competition because pricing will have to be matched, but still it will have the first mover advantage, and it will also have the advantage of its presence in various segments. So it will remain from this level. It's a good buy, but the earlier story has changed. It's not a multi-bagger story, but still a good buy at this level. Vector Foods, great. I think yes, gone up. Wait for a correction. I think somewhere you will possibly get some cooling off, or just wait for a few quarters. If it doesn't move, then again the valuation will start looking good. Buy on declines is what I would say with Vector Foods. Punjab National Bank, high risk, high return. In the short run looks good. Like the same thing we told with Bank of Baroda. Bank of Baroda is better managed than PNB. PNB is even more undervalued than Bank of Baroda. So I think in the next 1 year, you should be able to make money in this. But if you invested or you want to buy, keep a stop loss about 10% lower. You will lose maximum 10%, and if everything goes well, I think in next 1 year you could make a very fantastic return on the upside. But when you get the return, remember to book it. The same thing which I said about Bank of Baroda. These are not long-term compounders. These are good right now because the market has neglected these stocks for a long period of time, and like I said, they have managed to clean their balance sheet. After many years, they have a clean balance sheet, and they have credit growth is improving in the economy. So they have both the advantages of good lending power as well as credit growth pickup. So in the very near term, 1 year, I would think PSU banks is a very good idea. But beyond that, again, being public sector and being, having all the baggage of social thing with them, they should not be good for long term. Jubilant Food Work, Shweta, has underperformed. Market has kind of concerns because there's a lot of in the QSR space, lot of competition coming in. My own view is Jubilant is a leader. Jubilant is also a management which has time and again proved itself despite the exits at the top. And Jubilant, I am ready to bet that Jubilant, if you can stay invested for a period of time, you should make good money from here. TCS will give 15% definitely. I think I'll be very surprised if it doesn't give 15% over the next 5 years. I'll be surprised. I think it should give more than 15% in the next 5 years from here. I can't understand what that means. Debt free. Ambika Cotton, Satish, I haven't tracked. Mandir Dixon has moved up already from the lows. It has returned almost 15% from the lows. But it's a great play on the manufacturing story going ahead. So I would be willing to go along with it. It has gone up, so maybe wait for things to cool off or buy in a staggered way. KPIT Umang should be good. Again, you'll have to wait for a little while. Coforge has moved up. I think wait for a decline before you buy. Consumer durables, Whirlpool, Symphony should both be good. Consumer durable is again a very good idea. Bajaj Electrical, even your Havells has not been doing too well lately, but Havells, Bajaj Consumer, Whirlpool, Symphony should all be good. LIC housing, again, my own view is housing going to get a lot of consolidation with HDFC. LIC housing, again, public sector, has a good market share, but somehow has not been able to live up to the investor expectations. Avoid. Tata Steel looks good. Again, with the 1 year perspective, Tata Steel looks good. I think should do well in the very near future. Kotak Mahindra Bank, if you haven't bought, avoid, because there's going to be leadership change in the near future. We don't know who's going to step in. Things might look, and it's a very expensive, very, very expensive bank. So avoid at this stage. Shubham, depends on between Infosys and TCS. Very difficult to answer. I can say like that. TCS is backed with a very strong group. TCS is more short bet than even Infosys is. So if we're looking at very safe bet in the IT space, something which will short do well is TCS. Infosys, I find it that Infosys has some kind of a baggage. Infosys has more upside because more volatile stock. It can go up more. But if you are very conservative, looking for a very safe thing, then TCS. SBI Life, I think life insurance should as a business, I'm very bullish on it. I think India has a huge distance to cover when it comes to life insurance. So it will do well. I think SBI Life you should be looking at adding if you're a long-term investor. It should do well along with HDFC Life and other players. SBI Life long-term. Ingersoll Rand, I haven't tracked it, but it's a very good company. I don't know what the valuation is now, but it's again a very good company. It has delivered very great returns for investors, and I don't see any reason why it should not do the same going forward. IndusInd Bank, right? It should be, I spelled it wrong. IndusInd Bank should be good. IndusInd Bank should also be good, but Axis is the best. I mean, you want to buy one private sector bank, buy Axis. Ashok Leyland has gone up a lot. Again, it's a stock which goes up and it really doesn't. It goes up very slowly. It's already gone up. I would avoid it at this stage. Wait for a decline. PNB I've already answered, Jamia. Angel One I haven't tracked lately. Balaji Ameen's a very good story. Yes, very good stock. I haven't tracked the valuation lately, but it's a great story. Great stock, has delivered great returns to investors and should do well going forward. Hariom Pipes I haven't tracked. I think Astral would be the best bet. I would still stick with that. Relaxo has somewhat disappointed. I mean, it with a lot of potential, but somewhere it is lacking. I would like to revisit it. Not recommend at this stage. IRCTC run up. I think the run up has happened. Bajaj Finance next 10 years, yeah, good story. Yes, definitely 18% possible, 15% more likely. AB Capital doing well, will do well in the near term. Now that it's got re-rated, but when you make profit in it, remember to book it. It's not been a very good management, and we're not been a very good investor experience with it. GMR is a great story. One keeps hearing about airports, yet to make the money which everybody is looking for. At best, again, a very high risk. If you can put a small part of your portfolio in it, but so far it hasn't done well. Avoid for conservative investors. CESC again is very slow moving, doesn't live up to its expectations. I think avoid. Vadilal is a good story. It has got re-rated. I think moved up a lot, but yes, why not? You could stay invested. Don't buy it, but you could stay invested. REC looking good still. It's almost the same, but REC is the best one amongst them. Yeah, Mr. Jain, REC would be the best one. Justified to what is justified price to look for Bajaj? Bajaj Finance is a great company. The good thing is it's very volatile. I mean, recently it come down to 5,500. So whenever next it corrects, either on some result or some correction in the market, the good thing is corrects also a lot. It's very volatile. So whenever you see a good 10-15% correction, go ahead and buy. Sula, good story going ahead. It should, I think I quite like these kind of ideas and these kind of stories. Should do well. IDFC First Bank I've already answered. Poker now I haven't tracked. I think railway stocks have moved up. Hindustan Zinc has been a very kind of a tussle kind of a story. I think stay invested. At some stage, you will get it back. You will get a price. Iron Exchange, a very good idea. I think still a good. They moved up a lot. It got split. I think it's still good. I think it's still good. Stay. You could buy on a decline. I think despite the run up, it's been a great multiplier. But I think still looking good because water treatment is still a very clear leader, and water treatment is a very good story going ahead. Happiest binds I've already answered. Any auto? This one, Motherson, I think still, I mean, if you're ready to take some chances, the company is very well diversified. So Motherson could be the stock to look for in this time. Again, it's a bit risky. So with some risk, you could take a much higher return possibility. HDFC AMC already answered. Very highly valued, will remain highly valued. So maybe a 10-12% kind of a return. Safe stock, but wouldn't be something where you can make a lot of money. ICICI Lombard, I don't think so. I don't think it can do so well. There's a lot of competition, and general insurance is not such an easy business. I don't want to say that much on ICICI Lombard. I don't think it's such a long story and it's such a 15% compounder. I don't think so. Z has been a very interesting stock. Z has been a disappointment. See, what I can think of is Z would be, see, the story is yet still folding. But my best guess is that Sony ultimately will take over. The takeover will go through despite all the controversies. And the existing promoter group is really trying to push for that. I think the best way to play Z would be if you're bought, just stay invested. Otherwise, Z, see, if the merger does go through, then it is a clear leader and it's an MNC. So it will get re-rated very well. So if you're higher, again, it's meant for high risk, high return. If you are ready to take some risk, it'll probably even get delisted for some time and then get relisted. Z is a very good idea. Can put a small part of your portfolio, but again the story is not very clear. Avoid for conservative investors, but good for people who can take some risk for a very high return in the future. Coforge I've already answered. I think it's moved up a lot. Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, it keeps it can be the next Bandhan Bank. Story is yet to play out. I would like to watch for the next few quarters. I'm not still not very confident about it. L&T Finance is a much clearer idea. I think the company has consolidated, got out of its many businesses which they were in. Far more focused now. It should do well. Avaz also has moved a lot. I will avoid right now. HCL dividend payout ratio. HCL I haven't tracked, especially on the HCL Tech. We're talking about HCL. HCL dividend payout is too high and share price to growth is good. If it's HCL Tech, yes, HCL Tech is good. I agree. Not just because of dividend, it's otherwise also looking good. Nykaa, see, all these things are good. See, these are very futuristic bets. We don't know exactly how it will play out. Nykaa I quite like it because I think it's appealing to a segment where growth is certain. The company is very well established. I would think that if you are, again, a small part of your portfolio, high risk, high return category, Nykaa is also good along with Zomato, which we discussed earlier. Yeah, thank you so much. 20,000 subscribers. Thank you to all of you. Many of you are subscribers. So thank you so much to all of you for giving me all the encouragement. 20,000. Yes, it's a very good, last few days, the index on an all-time high. And I got that we managed to get 20,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, all of you, for giving me all this support. A shipping corporation, why again a MNC? Why would you want to do that? Avoid. Vedanta, yes, there are some controversies. Anil Gopal just keep creating something or the other. Again, lot of debt also, but I can bet on Vedanta. I think it will do well. Thank you so much, Mr. Jain. Thank you, Vanchitan. Biocon, okay. Biocon, interesting story. Usually, I don't like Biocon because I think somehow over a period of time, if you see, it has done much less than what it was promised or what the promise was, and much underperformed the sector. But Biocon again has been lying low for quite a period of time. It has underperformed and has done nothing for a few years. So at this price, I think the risk reward is favorable. Risk reward is certainly favorable. At 240, if you buy, I think you should make money. HDFC no brainer, go ahead and buy. And Mindtree, I think yes, it's a good idea. Good idea to buy these well managed mid cap IT stocks. They should do even better once the IT sector re-rates. Thank you so much, Kapil. Shipping corporation, right? Bushit, I answered. I don't think it's a good idea. Why should you buy a public sector and it's nearly done nothing? It has been a rank underperformer. HUL, good idea. Yes, HUL, good idea. You're not looking at a great return now. It's a very mature business, but 10-12% is always there. Bajaj Finserv is a very good idea. Again, Bajaj Finserv also getting into the mutual fund business. Bajaj Finserv, along with Bajaj Finance, both are good. Bajaj Finserv, I think with the new businesses entering in, Bajaj Finserv could in fact be better than Bajaj Finance, in my opinion, in the next few years. Yes, we have plans for small case platform. We will let you know once we enter there. Time and effort. Thank you so much. Thank you. Abu HDFC around way before lockdown. Yeah. Like I said, HDFC should be a very good idea. Titan is moved up a lot. I wouldn't say buy at this stage, but if you've bought and you can hold on for long run, why not? It's still a very good story going forward. Bajaj Holding, Mandir, you have to wait for a peak. Like I said, the peak is some far away. Usually these holding companies come into euphoria. One of the signs of a peaking bull market is when all these holding companies start freaking out. It's always been like that, but these holding companies present great value, but they won't get realized only when the market is near its all-time peak. Thank you so much, Jayesh. Gujarat Gas, I haven't tracked, I'd like to avoid. Vishesh, HEL, yes, despite the run up, a lot of things happening in defense. The exception, PSU exception is BEL and HAL. They have done well despite being public sector units because the defense is seeing a very good traction. One of the industries you could look out for as investors is defense. I think next few years are going to be very good. There's also a scheme which HDFC AMC has launched lately. You could even buy that. It's HDFC Defense. So defense is a very good clear growth story going forward. No, Kaya, I don't have a clear view right now. I haven't tracked it. Yes, Rupesh, HDFC Defense Fund is what I'm talking about. You could definitely buy that. I think it will be a great story still going forward. Okay, guys, I think we can possibly wind up. I think most of the questions are over. And market mantra, okay, I think, like I think mentioned in between, I think, see, the market, like I said, I mean, you have to not get overwhelmed by the figures. The all-time high will keep coming. I mean, in my 30 years, I have seen, if I just go back, I've seen so many all-time highs. So all-time high doesn't really mean much. It doesn't mean there's a peak. Like I said, the peak is still far away. Peak is, in terms of valuation also, we are about 15% away from what is normally the long-term bull market value peak. And also more stock specific ideas. Look at stock stories. Don't look at the headline number. There are still plenty of ideas in the market which can do very well, and yes, good time to clean your portfolio. Get rid of things which you had bought which are not moving, which are not doing well, because they will move up in this market. And so whatever best price you're getting, move out of that and put your money into quality long-term good plays. stories which are real, which are visible. Earnings growth is there, where management has a good pedigree and the investor relations are excellent. There are plenty of such ideas. That's a good thing about Indian markets. Okay, Page Industries are still a very good idea. Despite the run-up, Page Industries, and despite the poor results in the last quarter, I would still think Page Industries is a very good story. Still going forward, it will do well. Yeah, like I said, I think Mandir, this to focus on stock-specific ideas. The good thing about Indian markets is that we have a very diversified set of stocks in this thing. We are more diversified than perhaps any other emerging markets. We have to good stories to choose from, maybe at least 20 different industries: defense, sugar, chemicals, power, consumption can be very big idea itself. Consumption can be entertainment, home improvement, traveling, FMCG, consumer durables. All these ideas are good. And the real estate is coming back after a long time. Real estate can be good to track. Then your infrastructure, look at some of the capital goods space, some of the things like I mentioned about Linde, some of the things which are good in manufacturing, Dixon. So many such ideas. Yeah, Sumiti, Voltas is very good. Air conditioning is a very good story going forward. Voltas is a very good stock to keep in your portfolio. I think, yes, you can look at adding that. Okay, so I think it's been a good little more than 1 hour, and I think wish you all a great successful investing going forward, and congratulations to all of you for being in the market, for being with me, and for helping me get 20,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Really obliged. Really appreciate your comments, your feedback. Shubham, you can contact me through my channel also. I think just send a message. Somebody from my office will contact you. Reliance Power, why do you want to do those sort of things? Reliance Infra. Bajaj Hindustan. Bajaj Hindustan should still, I can say that because the sugar, the way it is, Bajaj Hindustan could be the stock I could still pick for this. BEL, yes. Abuzar, very good idea still. Why not? It's defense, like I mentioned, is a great story going forward. Vishesh, yeah, definitely I would love to come to Gujarat someday. I've never visited Gujarat. Yes, why not? Thank you for calling me. I would like to be there. Yeah, thank you, Smriti. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. And Mandir Embassy, I haven't tracked lately, so I will avoid that. I think it's a great, and I think stay invested. Like I said, it's Ultratech is a very good story. Despite the run up for 5 years, yes, Ultratech, why not? Ultratech, and we haven't talked about cement. I think cement itself, ACC could be a very good. When we're talking about frontline stocks, ACC could be another good stock to buy. Even in this market, it hasn't moved much, so could be a good stock to buy. And I think we will now do these live sessions a little more, so it can be more interactive. Hopefully more regular and more this thing, because last time it was 2021, so been a long time. But we'll like to do it more often. Love to hear your comments on it, and love to hear your suggestions on how to improve our interactive sessions more. Please go for your YouTube shorts. Okay. Shubham, I have been lately, last 6 months, whatever I have recommended, I have given updates on the last 2 videos which I have done. But yes, if you have any particular recommendation which I have, you are free to ask me, and I would like to comment on that. Yeah, Federal Bank, I answered, Mr. Chakrabarti. It is a good bet along with IDFC First and RBL. All 3 banks are looking very good. My first preference would be IDFC First, but even Federal is looking quite good. Yeah, thank you, Pankaj. I will, like I said, I promise to do it more often. Yeah, okay, Abuzar, why not? Yes, good idea. Thank you for giving me these suggestions. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone. Have a nice good night. Have a nice time ahead. Happy investing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.